So namaste, I want to welcome you to the second of these meditation classes that are offered by the Recovery Cafe. And I want to thank the cafe for making it possible, and especially to those volunteers who support this and make it even more possible, because without their help this wouldn't happen. In the first meditation class, we focus on the way the breath moves in the body. Where the breath moves in the body. We're going to kind of stay with that. We're going to add something to that. How as I use the movement of the breath coming into my body to be more and more still, using a concentration practice. So I've got a little rock here. I'm going to use that at one point in this meditation to look at. I choose a rock because there's nothing particularly interesting about this. It's just a thing. I want this thing that's really just a rock, just nothing that really speaks to me at all. I can just focus on that stillness of watching that rock do absolutely nothing except be a rock. So I'm going to have that where it is, and we'll use that later on in the meditation class. So if you don't have something, you might want to go ahead and get a little rock or something, whatever you would like to look at for a few minutes to gaze at as we begin to deepen our practice of meditation. So why do we do meditation? We do meditation to attain liberation in the tradition that I teach and follow. What is liberation? Liberation is freedom from not knowing what is real. Being able to be aware of life as it is, things as they are, without imagination or fear or confusion. For some, meditation is very difficult. For others, it's easy. But no matter which one of these you are on, the focus begins with becoming calm. So we do meditation to kind of get a state of calmness in the mind, and that's where deeper meditation must begin. So spend a few moments just being present to your body as it is, and relaxing. You may want to lay back in your chair. And your shoulders be soft. Noticing any tension in your body and reducing it. Now, for myself, to bring that calmness in, I like to do 3 vocalizations, just going, following that sound as it goes down, it disappears. And that helps me relax. Watching the sound dissolve, feeling it dissolve, letting the tension go away, it becomes a practice that deepens my movement into stillness, being calm. I can also gaze at that rock for a moment as I exhale, as I make the sound. Noticing how it doesn't move. It just stays being a rock. And then watching whatever comes into my mind for a few moments. Whatever comes in. Doesn't matter what it is at all. Whatever comes in. A thought, letting it go. A sensation, letting it go. A feeling, emotions sometimes grab us from behind, so they're more difficult to just let go of. So whatever comes into my mind, I want to be present to that. It only takes a couple moments. This is called a calm abiding practice, making a sound, letting the sound die, letting the body be soft. Letting any thought or sensation or feeling flow and go away. I return to just being present. Sometimes gazing at the rock allows me to be more still. Anything that I choose to look at. But something that doesn't attract me. It's just an object. It could be anything. Tip of a pencil. Okay. So now we're going to continue the practice of the Anapati Sutta, of a Buddhist meditation practice that's involved in training the mind and training the awareness in a methodical way to deepen my skill in this practice. You want to be sure that your posture is comfortable. You do that by making the body steady. You may need some kind of a support. I'm using a chair now for my support. If your back is tired, you may want to put something back behind your back or just lean back against the chair. But above all, you want to be sure that the body can be still for a period of time. So it's got to be comfortable. You want the practice to be easy. So you spend a few moments adjusting yourself to making sure that your body is in a comfortable form. Now, lying down is important, but it's difficult because we often go to sleep and we lose the opportunity to be present. Too much relaxation, too much stillness. Become aware of your breathing pattern. Just watching it come in and go out. Try not to make it longer or shorter, just being aware of your body breathing. The breath that comes in and the breath that goes out. Noticing the direction of the breath that comes in and the breath that goes out. This part of the practice is training the mind as an ally to deepen your ability to go into this meditation practice. From now, the mind contributes to the skill of practice. By training it, in this case, to notice the direction of the breath and giving that direction a word like down, going down, or coming in, or going out. Whatever word you choose, the direction of the breath. Allowing the breath to take its own form, not making it longer or shorter, just watching the breath, watching the body breathing, different phases of the breath. What is called the breath coming in, the inhalation. What is called the breath going out, the exhalation. Notice how the body kind of softens, if that's okay. Sometimes controlling our breathing with even awareness makes us nervous. If that happens, go ahead and just lean back and drop the practice and let the body soften again. Noticing your thoughts, noticing your feelings or sensations. And then return to the practice as you find calmness there. So as you breathe now, you begin to notice that your breathing is not regular. Some breaths are longer and some are shorter. That's fine. That's the body doing what it does. But now begin to add that awareness to your practice. By describing, this is a short breath, this is a long breath. As well as the awareness of the direction of the breath. So you're adding these two mental activities. One, the noticing the direction of the breath. Coming in, going down, going out and up. You may also notice the variation in how long a breath takes to become a breath. And noticing that change is not necessarily predictable. Watching that body doing what it does all by itself. An example of the impermanence of my body, it has a pattern that cannot be repeated. Breath is so important. It reminds me always how impermanent my life is. So I want to bring that into my practice now, the impermanence of my body, to make this more real. This is not an exercise in fantasy. I have a limited time to use this body. I will not have it again. I want that reality check as part of my practice. Makes it more authentic. This practice is not about freeing myself from the constraints of this world at all, but making me more present to the world as it is. I want to see the world as it is. I use my meditation for that practice. To see my body as it is. It breathes. The breath comes in, it goes out. There is up and down, in and out, duality, this and that. I want to be aware of that. I'm here, you're there. Subject, object. Part of the way the mind works, divides things into separations. I deepen my practice by training my awareness now. Awareness of the way the breath feels in the body. Second part of this Anapatisutta practice, a wonderful teaching from the time of Buddha before Christ. Now kind of allow the body to move a little bit, or coming back in your body before you go more deeply. Maybe letting the shoulders float around, getting any tightness out, any tension out before we go more deeply. Just a small movement. Don't make it too much. Feeling your body on this chair, feet on the floor, sitting bones on the chair. Then settling back down into stillness and comfort. Begin to focus on your exhalation. Try to make it a little longer. Maybe counting the number of seconds that you take to exhale and making it twice as long as it takes to inhale. 2 seconds to inhale, 4 seconds to exhale. Something like that. Slowly allowing that breath to take more time to go out of the body. And paying attention to that time, movement through space, time, dissolution of my breath. Watching my breath dissolve. Watching, the word in Sanskrit is abhyasa. Literally sitting, facing, watching, facing my breath as it dissolves, abhyasa. Now when it is dissolved, kind of pausing there, delaying the flow of the breath that comes in, right? Pausing, stopping the movement for a moment, then letting it go, letting the breath come in. So I notice the way I make my breath longer as it goes out. As it begins to come to its time, I pause. I let my body soften. Let my body soften. I begin to abide in that softness. And then I let it go and the breath comes in. I want to be able to feel that space between the solution of one and the beginning of another. I want to focus more and more on that space. The dissolution of my breath. And that is also present after my inhalation. It's more dramatic, inhale is powerful. Let's go there for a moment also. I inhale, I pause, and I let it go and exhale. And I want you to notice the beginning of the beginning of the exhalation. So now you're refreshing your awareness, and there's something that begins, it's very soft. Refreshing my awareness of exhalation. And staying with that awareness as it slowly dissolves. I pause, I abide, I lengthen that pause. As I do, I pull more and more deeply into something within myself that has no object to be aware of except itself. It is itself. This is called essence nature, is also called madhya, the very center of my being. It's deep, it's not superficial, it's not the covering of something, it is itself full and endless. Then you get a sense of that difference between the breath that dissolves and arises and that awareness that is endless. But then I breathe, I lose that awareness. Let's just spend a few moments just kind of practicing that. Training my awareness to the way the breath moves through time. As its time ceases, I pause and I abide, seemingly in a timeless state of awareness. Because there is no object there in that abiding. So with no object, there is no time. But at some point, the body breathes again, and I return now to the nature of my body, bound by form, bound by breath, bound by the physical qualities of it. Now, in the beginning, I asked you to get an object, and I brought a little rock here for this purpose. So this aspect of this meditation practice is to begin to work on bringing the mind to stillness. Use an object that is quiet, is still, to kind of aid us in that. You're going to be staying with your breath awareness practice, letting the exhale dissolve. But that now, as you begin to exhale, kind of gaze at the rock, letting the eyes open, and staying with that focus on the rock as I exhale. And letting the mind stay there. But then as I inhale, closing the eyes, letting the rock come back into inner awareness for a while. The eyes closed, the memory of it. Pause back in, exhaling, eyes open, gazing. One inhale, close my eyes, pull the awareness of the rock back into my inner awareness. And repeating this. Eyes open and gazing, and letting that stillness abide, and focusing more and more on that dissolution while I gaze in calmness. Inhaling, taking that vision of the rock back into your mind. And noticing the difference between eyes open, rock outside of you. Eyes closed, a rock inside of you. It's creating that confusion about where is this rock? Where's my awareness? External object that I see, internal object that I still see. Is it separate from my awareness? I really am studying my awareness. That thing, that process, it sees and knows. I use this for that purpose, to notice what I see when I open my eyes. Does it take me away from myself? As I close them and the breath comes back in, where do I come back into? No answers, just awareness and questions. So you can continue with this practice if you wish, or just stay gazing at the rock, letting the breath go, letting the mind focus singularly on that rock, eyes open, and trying to be focused on that, not losing the singularity of awareness of that object outside of you. Body relaxed. Just gazing in stillness at that rock. It doesn't change. Helping the mind be still. And watching when I lose that. I'm taken away by a sound and I don't see the rock anymore. Or my thought takes it away, or something else takes me away from that awareness. Practicing a simple form of concentration. Gazing at a rock. letting it become blurred or lost or confused, clearly seeing its dimensions, its qualities, its shape, its form, its color. Any thoughts that arise, I'm aware of them. And then letting go as I return to just looking at that rock, gazing with quiet intention. If they are not already, allow the eyes to close. Kind of sit back up again and pause for a moment, looking back on this practice. See that movement from ending to this now self-awareness of what happened in this practice. Remembering that everything I needed for this moment was here. Nothing is missing. Whatever perceptions I had in the practice that are of value to me, kind of pause for a moment, look at them. Let that self-knowing, something you know, all nobody else knows. And let it have some weight. There's some things we know are not useful, some are. I want to begin to create a library of those things that are useful in meditation, so I don't doubt them. Some things are of no value, some are harmful, but some are deeply important. So I want to know those things that are essential and don't doubt them. Do not doubt what you know to be true. Keep track of that as you continue your practice. Me bringing my hands to my heart, getting ready to bring the practice to a close. Going to be doing 3 ohms, and join me if you'd like to. Inhaling to find your breath. Om. Thank you for joining me, and be well.